Hello everybody, I would like to welcome you back if you are returning, and for all the new subscribers, I would like to say welcome. Thank you all for being here. If you are new here, I am Shayla, an earthy mountain mama and wife. My husband and I have 6 children, and we are second generation homeschoolers. We're a big Jesus-loving family, and we love to laugh and live here at our mountain homestead that we began buying last spring. In my videos, you're going to notice our home is not finished. This big home was only 75% finished when we moved here, and so we're working towards finishing it up. I love to create videos that are homestead, homeschool, and homemaking related, and I'm so glad you popped in for a visit today. Day in the life videos have by far been the biggest hit with the majority of you so far, and the most requested, and it's been a while since I've done one because they are really challenging to make. Recently I realized that although a day in the life is a bit too much for me to bite off at this point in time, I discovered a week in the life is far more doable, and basically the same thing, only it might pack more value to you. So that's what I'm going to try this week. This video is essentially a week of peeks into our days. Each morning always starts the same, with coffee. A day or a week in the life around here is, of course, completely contingent upon the season. Right now, we are transitioning from our winter to our spring routines. We have a schedule system routine for our family that seems to be working well, but it took so long to figure out what would work this year. I know that's partly due to the big move last year and the under construction home. I am hoping that it doesn't take as long to get the spring and summer schedules figured out though, because I have learned that the sooner in the season that I can get our daily schedules mapped out, the smoother life is around our home for everybody. So here's our current schedule. It's also on the Alexa to keep the kids and I on track through the day. Twice a day the kids are reminded to flip through and do some chores. We have these chore cards and they remind the kids to do things like brush their teeth, feed their pets, and so on. At school time, they have checklists. You guys, this has been a game changer in our homeschool. I found that if the kids have a checklist that they can use a pencil to check off, then the things are far less likely to be forgotten, and I don't have to micromanage nearly like I do if they don't have these checklists. Having everything written out like this in schedules and routines helps free my mind up so that I don't have to micromanage everybody. And that's kind of how I manage all that I do manage. I do, however, have to remind the kids to follow the schedules. I keep thinking, when is there going to be a day where I don't have to remind them to go look at their chore card, go look at their schedules. So far, we haven't had a day like that yet. We have been hitting the academics very hard to finish up the school year before it gets warm out. You guys, we've had 6 months of winter snow. Crazy, right? Wake up time around here is 7 a.m. I usually have Cat Stevens or a worship song play, either Morning Has Broken or something like the Lord's Prayer. The kids ramble out of bed and have about 20 minutes to wake up. They usually lay around the living room. Our oldest daughter likes to get a cup of coffee. I have found that we have better attitudes around here when the kids have some time to wake up before jumping right into the day. After about 20 minutes though, the morning routines start. The first things on the kids' chore cards in the morning is taking vitamins and cleaning their rooms, brushing their hair and teeth, and preparing for the day. Some of the kids skip half these things, like brushing their hair. I'm honestly glad if they simply just get to their teeth because I prefer that they do keep those. After that, we move on to a few age-appropriate chores. Dishwasher emptied, breakfast, feeding the pets and the chickens. Our oldest son has completely taken on chicken duty. He is so faithful about it. The chickens are doing really well. Quite a few kept laying through the winter, and so that was a huge blessing. We've been feeding them cracked corn, oats, and of course crumble feed. We recently added black sunflowers to their diet for increased omega oils. We have more eggs than we know what to do with right now. I'm actually looking at selling a couple of the chickens. I'm thinking about 5. I've been making angel food cakes, soufflés from Julia Child's Art of French Cooking, roulades, and my oldest son likes making hollandaise sauce on the weekends. We decided to allow a few of our chickens to go broody. Is that the right way to say it? I don't know. We've never done this before, so I'm not sure. Our oldest son and daughter have agriculture as a school elective in high school, and our son has been studying up on brooding hens lately. We felt like it would be the easiest way to keep young hens and a steady supply of layers in our flock. On this particular morning, this is what the living room looks like. We've got laundry spilling over from yesterday. I'm teaching my oldest children, the 4 oldest from 10 up, how to do their own laundry. And I got this idea from other large family moms. I realized laundry is an important life skill that kids really need to learn. A lot of kids leave home and still don't know how to do laundry. So my kids are now learning how to do laundry, and it's not going so well. This is literally the cleanest my laundry room has been in about 2 weeks, because yesterday I said, okay guys, we're not really getting anywhere with this laundry situation. We need to try a little bit harder to stay on top of the laundry. Breakfast is usually at 8. With our schedule, we don't always get to things exactly on time because we are a large family with small children in the mix too, and you know how that is with small children. But we always try for the specific times. Sometimes it's 10 minutes before, sometimes it's 10 minutes after. But those set times are our goal. The older kids usually make eggs for breakfast and or oatmeal, granola, yogurt, something like that. And the younger kids love our homemade sourdough toast. A toaster, it's not big enough for our family, so we don't even have a toaster. We use a toaster oven. The kitchen is always bustling in the morning because everybody likes something different, and most of them are old enough to make their own breakfasts, so I let them do that. One of the things I've got happening this particular morning is feeding my sourdough and making some sourdough bread. It is so much healthier, and for a family our size, we probably save around 30 to 40 bucks a month by making our own bread. So I got this Nutrimill from Nutrimill Grain, and I've had it for about 6 months now. I absolutely love it. It makes the most happy sourdough starter. I use it 2 or 3 times a week to grind fresh flour to feed the sourdough starter. After breakfast, everybody works together to clean up the kitchen quickly. Everybody washes their own bowl and spoon and puts it in the dishwasher, and we like to start school promptly after that. As mentioned, we have been using the winter to school hard. I start with the youngest couple children and then check in with the 2 next oldest. We have been using My Father's World for years, and we love it for history, Bible, science, art, and geography. The last 3 years have been really challenging though, because I've had kids in high school, middle, and elementary school. It has been mentally rigorous for me, to say the least. I will add some notes on using My Father's World and how I've been using it at the end of this video for those out there that are homeschooling and using it. Lunchtime is at noon. We have been listening to audiobooks over lunch lately, and sometimes we watch educational videos that have to do with something we're learning in school. Morning devotionals, they don't always work for me. Sometimes they do. I love it when they do, but they don't always work because sometimes I have to hit the ground running in order to get the kids going in time and to get myself going. And I have ADHD, so I found that if I take too much time in the morning to sit around, I don't have a very productive day ahead. My best, most productive time of day is in the morning. And so I like to make the most of that energy when I have it before it's gone. It is finally to the stage where we can have a set quiet time each day. Since our youngest is older and understands the concept a little more than he did before, this is kind of new to me because I've always had newborns and babies and toddlers around. So this is the first time in our homeschool journey that we have been able to establish a set quiet time that all of the children are old enough to understand and adhere to, and it's been really nice. Our 4-year-old still does need a lot of reminders that this is quiet time, but he's learning. During quiet time, I have my devotional time, and I will read devotions, and sometimes I'll look at what's going on in the news, or I'll read a self-help article or something along those lines. You guys, by 1 to 2 o'clock every day, I have just been utterly exhausted. I've come to the realization after much prayer that I am definitely going through kind of a midlife crisis. I've reached out to a couple of my aunts that have made it through this stage, and they've given me some really great advice. I've also made a new acquaintance in a large family homeschool mom group that I'm in, and she offered to become a devotions accountability partner with me. So we've been sending each other snapshots of our devotions, and I've not been doing it as often and as regularly as I need to, but it has helped me to get better about devotions, and that is helping me. I have come to the realization that a lot of this is just major burnout. So when I made the decision to cut back on this YouTube channel, I had no idea it was going to affect me the way that it has. I didn't realize that I was kind of using this channel as a, what are those things called that you save you when you're out drowning at sea? A lifesaver. That's kind of what this channel was to me, and when I removed that, it just kind of really shined a light on where I was spiritually and mentally and how depleted that I have been. During that afternoon time where my body and my mind just crashes, the energy level is so bad, you guys, and I know a lot of that probably has to do with the fact that I do have an autoimmune disease, and it's been hard lately. Winter is always hard, but it's been hard for longer than it normally is. Like, my energy levels have never been this bad. I'm sure moving and homeschooling on top of it, plus the homestead, has a lot to do with it, but I would really like to get my energy back one of these days. So right now I've been focusing a lot on self-care and trying to work on my health and devotions. And one of my favorite things that I have been finding for devotions is this Mom's Devotional Bible. I got this years ago. I don't know how long I've had this. I think I've even shared it in previous YouTube videos that I've done here. But I really love this Mom's Devotional Bible. It's probably my favorite thing. When I'm in a hurry, I have an app on my phone. It's the King James Version Bible app, and it does daily reminders to do devotions. And so if I'm in a hurry, I use this, but if I have more time, I like to use this, and it is my favorite. So I thought I would read today's devotion to you guys. This is on page 17 of this Mom's Devotional Bible, and it's titled Fruit That Lasts. So I'm going to go ahead and read this to you. The Bible verse that they have for this is John 15:16. I choose you and appoint you so that you might go and bear fruit. Fruit that will last. You know, the idea of fruit that will last, you know, work that will last, that, you know, the dishes, they are done one day, done in one moment, and then you turn around and there's another pile, and there's laundry piles everywhere, and it feels like so much of the work that you do when you're a stay-at-home mom and even a homeschool mom, a lot of it doesn't feel like it lasts. So this is encouraging to me. I'm going to keep reading here. Begin with the end in mind. It's a mantra we've all heard before. It makes sense for architects, writers, farmers, and yes, moms. In the everyday rumble of bathing and feeding, shoelace tying, homework, completion, and endless carpooling, we can lose track of just what we're trying to achieve through our mothering efforts. The goal or end result escapes us. Jesus pulls us up to a higher plane, draws a circle around the desired end result, and directs our eyes to take it in. Like Jesus' inner circle of disciples who worked with him on earth, we are called to bear fruit. When we are attached to Jesus like fruit to a vine, we reproduce his character, his love, and his efforts in our world. Not only is fruit the end result of our lives, but it's fruit that will last, endure, remain, fruit that will leave a legacy. As you go about mothering today, try to begin with the end in mind. Better moms make better children, and better children make for a better world. I love that. Better moms, better world. At about 3 and after quiet time, we put some upbeat music on to motivate us and get the blood pumping, and we do a few afternoon chores. There's usually some laundry to put away. We also do the bathroom spot cleaning in the afternoons. Lately, I've been using the chilly afternoons to can foods that I don't want to have to can in the summer heat. Beans and chicken broth are two biggies. Our cellar is getting really full with both. When I'm not canning, there are other things that always need to be done though, especially house projects. This week we have an extra fun project to do. My oldest kids are, as mentioned, they are in high school and they have ag as an extracurricular. And so we made soap this week. This was just for the high school students and we did most of it outside for safety reasons. I've been planning and preparing to make the soap for months. We made cinnamon bay scented soap.
We were made for each other to hold on to. I was carved out of redwood beneath your moon. I was birthed in the mountains under the sun. Something's changed, you can't see my face in the crowd no more. Something's changed, you can't see my face in the crowd no more. We are living the dream together out here on the road, and our love takes center stage.
One day a week, I have a really big cooking day where I try to make a whole lot of food for the week ahead. I'll usually make bread and crackers or something like that and a few other things that are main dishes just so that I don't have to cook and I have a little more time throughout the week. And it makes our homeschool days go a lot more smoothly. Another fun trick that I've learned to do over the years is instead of cooking something all the way through before putting it in the fridge, only partly cook it. And then when it's time to use it for a meal, that's when you do the complete cooking process, because then it tastes a lot fresher than it would if you just made like a whole big bunch of casseroles and cooked them at the same time. It just tastes better if you only cook the one you need the day that you need it, and then the next day cook the next one.
Beneath your moon, I was birthed in the mountain under the sun.
Things ran so late tonight. There will be no putting this kitchen to bed. I'm gonna get the food put away. Most of the dishes are gonna get put in the dishwasher. The kitchen will not be put to bed, as is the trend now. I love the idea of putting the kitchen to bed. It's a great trend that's going on, but for me, when you have this many kids and this much food to make 24/7, it just doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes it does, but not always. It's after 9 and I'm ready to call it quits. I need to call it quits. This is as good as it's gonna get tonight. And meanwhile, in the laundry room, it's 9:15 and I'm waiting for this load of laundry to finish because the 10-year-old started a load of his laundry at, I'm guessing, around 8:30, not realizing that they would take an hour to get done. So we have a whole load of laundry here that I need to get in the dryer tonight. So I gotta stay up a little bit longer. I need to wait for this load of laundry to dry so I can put the other load in here. I don't want it to get all mildewy through the night. There's so much to do and so much to put away, but I'm so tired. So I'm just gonna go relax for the night. And I know that tomorrow it won't look quite so bad, but I do need to stay up long enough to get that load of laundry in the dryer. Something I've learned is that everything always looks worse at night. It doesn't matter what it is. It always looks worse. When you're tired, a small mess will look like a big one. A small problem will look like a big one. But when morning comes and your strength is returned, that mess, that same mess that looked like a mountain, looks much smaller. Laundry, on the other hand. Look at that. There's as much there or more than there was yesterday. There's less baskets, but the baskets that are there are more full. My kids were up early and they've already started making their toast. Looks like we're out of yogurt. I started making our own yogurt it costs way less. So this morning, some of the kids are having yogurt and granola, and this is homemade yogurt that we made. Again, part of a home ag assignment for the high schoolers. We also did a cost breakdown, and we found it's way less expensive to make your own yogurt if you are a large family and you use a lot of it like we do. This laundry has a life of its own. Oh my gosh. So morning chores this morning before we get started. It's about 8 o'clock, a little after 8, and we are getting our laundry put away because we are all, some of us are starting to run out of clothes. We just cannot keep up with laundry. All right, guys, let's get these clothes baskets put away in your rooms. Don't just drop the clothes basket in your room. Please take the clothes out of the clothes basket and put them away. Saturdays are always so full with working on the house and homestead projects. We have been trying to wrap up as many indoor house projects as we possibly can before too many outdoor activities start. Flooring, oh my gosh, it's been a nightmare. When we moved in, our intention was to leave everything that we could on the moving van and get the floors done. But we were met with an unexpected situation of pet damage that we had to repair. And so we were not able to get these floors done. So this has just been chipping away. We've been here almost a year and we are still working on this flooring project. It has been a huge time hog. It's really hard to work on a floor after you've moved in and all the furniture is in place. Working on the house has definitely been truly exhausting, especially since my husband and I are middle-aged. Sometimes I second guess our choice of taking this project on because of how truly difficult this part of our journey has been. It's been one more thing, just taking time and brain space and energy and balancing it with the kids' school and then the homestead too. It has been overwhelming. I am looking very forward to getting this part of the journey off the plate. I will say that to cope through it all, it helps having that little bit of time in the afternoons, even if it's only 20 minutes, to just try to decompress and recharge. And I am so glad spring is here because getting out of the house helps so much. And of course, counting blessings. It's my go-to. It always helps improve every situation. One Sunday in March, we finalized our garden plans. That took some doing. Oh my goodness. My brain, my poor brain. My husband took all the necessary measurements in the garden. Our garden is not an acre, as I for some reason previously thought it was and told you guys it was last summer. It's actually only like 160 by 80. I used the Farmer's Almanac garden planning app to plant our garden using companion planting. And it only took a couple days to plan it out. If it wasn't for that app, it probably would have taken me 2 weeks, and like there would have been smoke coming from my ears because I would have been so mentally exhausted by the end of it. I'm not good with that kind of stuff anymore. The app was so helpful though. I bought our garden seeds from True Leaf Market in February, but I've had to get a few more seeds from other places. So you guys, I wasn't gonna start any of my own seeds early. I think I mentioned that in the video that I did with my seed haul. I was gonna buy all of my starts, but I realized we have so much to plant and it's gonna be way too expensive. So I did start some things. I've got some calendula, some peppers. We're gonna be planting like 46 pepper plants. And I've got some other things going here. I will be getting some starts, but hopefully not as many if these work out. I am not usually very good at starting my own seeds indoors. Something always happens and it ends up being a disaster. But I do have them in this windowsill. My husband built these little temporary ledges to put them on and they get a lot of light here. I'm also gonna get a fan on them pretty soon. So Lord willing, this will work this time. Hey, let's take a gander down to the garden and chicken coops to see what's going on there this week. My boys are just loving farm life. I don't think I've ever seen them so happy. If we had found this leak from these water hydrants last summer, it would have cost us about $1,000 less than it did finding it in the dead of winter. Not finding it until winter meant we needed to get an excavator, but I guess that's just how it goes sometimes. These are the ones that were leaking, and they're the ones that we replaced. One of them we just took out. But we're thinking that maybe this is the reason we didn't have enough water for the garden last year. We are hoping that this solves that problem, and we're hoping and praying that we have enough water this year for the garden. And another thing, we are actually looking into an irrigation system. We're not sure what we're going to use yet, a Hooker system versus drip irrigation. We are looking into all of our options though. Every time we sit on this sofa, the cushions come out. They pop out of the back. They're not secured down. Found these on Amazon and I'm going to give them a try. Alright guys, let's talk homeschool as promised. We've been using My Father's World for our homeschool since 2017 and it's always worked well. The last 3 years though, as I got kids in high school, which was about 3 years ago. Yeah, I guess it was about three years ago now, or 4 years ago. My oldest hit high school, and then my second hit high school, and then I had kids in high school, middle school, and elementary school, which is what I have now, and a preschooler. And My Father's World is just not working for us anymore. I think we kind of broke the mold with the size of our family and the age ranges with My Father's World. We haven't been using it for high school all along, but the family cycle and having the kids in such a wide range from middle school and elementary and the preschool, plus me having to help from time to time with my high schoolers. Like my oldest was in a homeschool program. We had to take him out of it though. It was a homeschool program through a local private Christian school and it wasn't working for him. So I've been homeschooling him since last fall. My daughter is still in that homeschool program, so I don't have to help her very much at all. The oldest, the two middle schoolers, and the elementary school students, and then the preschooler, it's just, I can't seem to make My Father's World work anymore for us, and I figured out what it is. It's not so much the materials and the curriculum, it's this. It's the reading the script. Fortunately, I've already gone through and done this one time, so I'm still using all of the books. I'm just not using the teacher's manual at all, because when I go to read the teacher's manual, I can't get very far before I get interrupted by somebody, and then I come back to it and I don't know where I was anymore. It's just, I found that the script with this size of a family doesn't work. Fortunate thing is, I have a lot of this memorized from doing this in 2017. So I'm still going off of memory with a lot of it, and I'm still using all of the same My Father's World materials. I'm just not using this. This was very helpful and I highly recommend it if you are just getting started teaching, because this will teach you how to teach. It will also help you learn how to plan. And so like I said, I'm not using this as much as I was in 2017. I'm not using it the way that I have been using the teacher's manuals and all the cycles in these past years. Like I said, we've been using it since 2017, but this year, it finally is not working for me to use a teacher's manual at all. Hey, stop that. Get back to your reading. Give me the spray bottle.
Water in the pan.
Oh, water, you.
Yeah, water head.
I'll show you guys how I finished the year on time, or very close to being on time. So we have 6 weeks left of the school year and we have 95 lessons in math left. So I divide the remaining lessons, which is 25 lessons left, and I divide that into the remaining weeks, and that shows we have barely over 4 lessons to do a week, and we will be finished in time for summer break. Language arts, on the other hand, we have been moving through a little bit more slowly. We had some work to do at the beginning of the year with my daughter with her language arts. So we did some review at the beginning of the year. So we got started a little bit later on her main curriculum, the grade she's in now, which is 2nd grade. We got started a little bit late because of the review time. So we actually have to do 6 lessons a week to get done on time. Still not bad. Friends, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Every subscribe, every view, every watch helps my channel so much, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here.